Here is the latest information on the Sora app, which is a new student-centered app and user-centered app for Overdrive library system. This would be on the student iPads that they would have access to in the one-to-one environment at Thales. It also can be accessed through the web by just going to soraapp.com, and at the top you see that URL. First time coming into the system, you can do Find My School, and this will use your location to attempt to identify one near you. If it's not listed, you can type in the zip code or school name, and let's just do Thales Academy. This is my school. And once it knows you're connected to that school, you can use your login credentials that we have sent out to staff, and then the students use their on-record Canvas information to log in to the Overdrive system and the Sora app. So when we log in, what will come up is an entry page that will tell you some basic information about the user. First would be this idea of assignments. We won't go into great detail right now, but this essentially could be, this would be where certain titles might be listed out for students that they need to complete or do. There's loans. This shows what they have checked out right now. I have currently one that I have checked out. You can go and see all the loans or all the books that they're checked out. There'll be a list of recently defined words as they're going through the text. If they had to look up words, it will maintain a list of this. And then notes and highlights from the text that they've read and had in the Sora app. So first place really maybe to start is Explore. And when you go to Explore, it's going to load in the content, various titles and things that are found within the school site. And we're loading. There we go. Okay. And these are sorted, in this case, by new editions. You can go through and look at specific collections by clicking the tab here. You can also go in and change your preferences, so you can look at everything or only the available books. You can sort by, relevance, popularity, add date, any kind of format, such as I want just audiobooks to show. And then, the audience here might be good if you're working with, if I'm, in the adult category, I'd want to maybe have those come up as my default title search. Versus the things meant for the pre-K 5 group. And once you're done, you can apply those settings, and it will give you this landing page with content that is most well matched for the user. With these, you can choose any one of these, take a little glance at it. If it's available, you can go and say, oh, I'd like to borrow that, and that adds it into your reader. It will open it up so that it can be read within the app here. And I'm just scrolling through, and you can see you get a table of contents followed by the various reading pages. You do have some navigational tools here, different ways to present the reading, either one page at a time or have 2 pages. You can search for things, and then you also have this fast little search bar over here. If you want to take a look at chapters, I need to go ahead and jump into the text here, and it'll take you right to that link within the text. And we'll close that and go back to Explore. If you notice back on my home page, now I have a couple of texts shown here. And you can also go to your actual shelf and see all the options you have here. They would be listed. You can place holds on things if there's something that you want to have but somebody else had it checked out. That can be done. And you then also at the bottom have this Me tab. And this Me tab will tell you information about sort of statistics about the user. And it's an achievements-based system where you get different badges and things for reading certain number of books or opening books, checking ones out, turning them back in. So these will sort of be dropped in place once the user, and they'll be notified that this has happened as they complete things within the Overdrive Sora system here. Going back to the home page, and one of the things I noted here was the idea of putting notes in books as you're reading. So if I go back and look at Beowulf and I want to, go through and read this, then, whoops, let me go back and hit this again, open book. And if I want to highlight something or note something, I can click on it and hold down, and I can highlight a section and choose a color. I can add a note. This is good information. And click done. And if I jump back to my home screen, you'll see that it keeps a running list of my notes. This is great for a novel or a book they're reading for a class. And if the teacher wants to make an assignment, hey, you need to do notations for chapter 1 of Beowulf or section 1 of Beowulf, or these first 15 pages of Beowulf, then they can go to their notes, and up here they'll get this little notification, hey, you can export this if you want to, and this allows you to export it as a PDF, which can be turned in on Canvas as the assignment. So it's a way that students could do notations of a novel, of a book, and paste those into a PDF. They could send it out to their Google Drive to save it out for later use, or copy to the clipboard to paste into a document that they were working on for an assignment for a class. So these notes will always be on the home page at the very bottom, and you can go to see all when the list gets a little too long. If you have multiple notes in a book, if I click on this, it's actually going to go to this book and then the various notes I've added, and I can export all those at one time because they will export by title to a PDF in order for those to be submitted or archived with the user, say, in their Google Drive. So those are the basic tabs where they can explore, they can look at their bookshelf, and they again can see their progress and their statistics as a user. There's one other menu in the upper right. This one allows them to sign out of this particular app, or they can check the settings of the device to match up either the web version or looking at it on their iPad. And the other feature that some of the students may be able to use if they have a current library card with, say, Wake County Public Library, you can add this to your personal Sora app. So they can go here and again put in their information and say, oh, well, I've got a Wake County Public Library card. This is my library. You can start searching for things here. When you get ready to check things out, it'll prompt you for your login information for Wake County Public Library from your card, and you can check things out there, and it puts it all in one place, whether it's Thales or it's Wake County Public Library. So again, I think that's a great feature for them to have, not only what we're putting in content for Thales Academy, but also access to other library systems like Wake County, to where it really opens the door to many other titles and things that they could choose to read. Make sure you note that on the Explore page here with preferences, show this to the students whenever you can, because it will help sort of delineate what's shown here, and it will be age appropriate at that point, especially with high school kids, because it will default to perhaps some titles that are well below their reading levels, etc. Collections is something that you may want to send them to. These collections can be set up for certain groups, or could be a grade level, even a specific course if there was a number of titles that teachers wanted them to be able to select from that they could sort of hand pick out. And just contact me if that's something that a department is wanting to do or a grade level is wanting to do within Sora. This kind of gives you the quick overview of Sora and the app. Again, with the teacher login, that's going to be the email for the teacher, and then Thales as the password default. For the student, it's their on-record Canvas credentials, which is their first dot last name and year they graduate, and then their ID number from on record, so they can access that and know what to put in. If you find that there's a student who's not coming up, please contact me. I can check it real quick and make sure that they were added into the system. But they should be ready to go, and encourage them to jump in and do some free reading on their own, even if there's not something specific you want to assign out to them.